Hi everyone, this is Ade. Um, since it's been 6 months since my chest surgery, thought I might as well make an update. But the way I'm gonna do it is this video. I'm gonna show you, how my chest is. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the changes, improvements, and stuff that I want worked out. But I'm gonna make another video on my feelings about the chest surgery, changes I've had on tea, and all that extra stuff in another video. Separate that, just showing just mostly about my chest for this video. Right. Okay. So change of plans. Since it's so dark, I've decided I'm not gonna show my chest now. What I'm just gonna do instead is I'll show you a clip I did yesterday of my chest because it was in better lighting. It's quite dark right now, so it'd be a bit pointless. Yeah, so I guess in terms of how well the surgery's gone for me, I think it's solved one issue I had before surgery. I don't have to bind anymore, and I have a flat chest. That that's sorted. In fact, in some ways, it actually looks like I'm, quite big because they're like pecs, and under a shirt it all looks great. But the question of whether I would feel comfortable taking off my vest in public is another question. And maybe that's something that really, over time, could get settled because, it's partly a bit of working out and partly really a aversion for me. So, the issues I have with it, to start with, is one, the nipples. First, vague one. One of them came out. I mean, they were both doomed to. I mean, once they fell off really and died, they were both doomed to for it to not look right really. And to be honest, to a degree, one of them actually came out looking quite decent because the texture of it. I mean, they're never gonna have the fact that it's not gonna be like a 3D nipple. Now it's just flat, But that's not the biggest thing ever to me. To me, that's small. Um, you know, there's never gonna be sensation there. Once again, sensation wise, not the biggest deal to me. Um, with the right side, really, I think, apart from the fact that there's a bit of pink in it, which I'm not sure where that's going to go because for the past 3 months it hasn't been improving, but whether it will still improve within now and, a year or two to come is another question. I mean, in terms of that, really, I would rather wait up till a year, so maybe September, before tattooing over it. Because if it hasn't improved by then really, I can't be waiting. I'm not that patient. Um, but yeah, in terms of the right side, I think that's all right. That's fine. The biggest thing was that texture and the look of it overall looks like a nipple. It doesn't have any depth to it. It's flat, and obviously there's the pink bit inside. The left one on the other side, on the other hand, um, I guess to me didn't really work. But then I guess in some ways, really, I expected the two of them to heal like that. So in some ways, it feels like really I should be grateful, because I guess I already knew from when they fell off that it wasn't great. And I mean, when I was sort of signing up for surgery, I was sort of expecting that they'll both, come out as a normal um, nipples. I guess I don't really prepare myself for the fact that it could actually go wrong. The biggest thing is the two of them don't look identical. Looking at it from another person's perspective, you know that something's clearly happened to the other nipple. What has happened is a different question, and that's the biggest thing really, is that it doesn't look normal. Whether it doesn't look the worst, It's the fact it doesn't look normal. It looks like something happened there. Really, it's like a scar. I mean, I've got that's bad lighting, but yeah, I've got a scar between this scar and that so-called nipple. um, yeah, they pretty much look identical in that they both look like a scar. So I was hoping really that by making it smaller, it will take less focus off of it because it's you know I think really the idea makes sense. Something so big, you can clearly see what's wrong with it, than something which is a lot more smaller. And also by it being smaller, it would also solve some of the other issues I have with my chest. Uh, well, the other issue. Don't have that many issues with my chest. Um, yeah, and that's to do with the contouring. So, in my opinion, both sides still have some tissue left. And at and it's more towards the base of it. Um, how you ask me that I can tell this? Apart from the fact that I know I don't have that much muscle anyway. I can tell where the line of my muscle ends, where it starts. Now, I think mostly because it's sort of shaped in a way that makes it look like it's all muscle. It all looks fine, but you know, underneath I can tell just because of the texture, and it feels like it's still swelling. So in that sense, since it feels like it's swelling, it feels like maybe in a few months to come it might still settle down, and maybe it just hasn't finished healing. The surgeon said really I should carry on massaging it, and that should hopefully break it down a bit. And well, the way he said it is that it seems like it's scar tissue, and really what I should be doing is massaging it. So I guess I need to make that more into a habit. Um, but if it isn't, then the only other thing I could think of it as is excess tissue because it's not muscle. And in reality, if it was excess, no, I meant fat, no, breast tissue, yeah. If it is that, then I don't see that as a good thing, and I don't see it as something that would necessarily improve I as I work out, because you get those guys who go on steroids or something, and they start getting excess breast tissue along with their muscle, and you can tell that obviously they've got muscle, but there's also some breast, and I don't want that's not really what I've always wanted. I don't want that sort of sitting on the end, you know. That's the biggest thing with that, and it's a question of if I do even work out how's it going to look. Is it necessarily going to actually fix it? It's things like that, but it could just be, you know. I guess it's my body, so there's no way I'm gonna be fussy about it. There's sometimes there's a question of where your expectations are, and how this actually fits in with it, and we can never actually get exactly what we want, and it's a question of whether it's at least nearly there. Is it That's a compromise. I think in terms of me not needing to bind or anything like that, it's definitely ticked that box for me. Um, in terms of whether I can take my shirt off, I think if my nipples were to be sorted, I may be closer to that, to taking off my shirt. I wouldn't necessarily be completely happy with my results, but I think it would, it, I'd be happier. you know, I mean, it's a pity they didn't, the left side didn't come out the same way as the right side. Because to be honest, I think I'd be a lot more happier because I'm quite happy with my right side. So really, I think it's something that might take time. Um, yeah, might just be a waiting game, and also the working out. I mean, the areas I want to build most, there really is my back, arms, Those are the main things. Just because with back it gives you more width, and the biggest thing I feel is I'm too skinny. And I know just working on my chest wouldn't solve that. Just give me big pecs and a small body. I want to look huge without needing to take off my top. Just standard D. Not huge, maybe not huge, but like I've still got a bit of width to me, that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, uh, I've been doing a lot of exercises tailored to my back. Probably isn't good advice to everyone. I mean, you should always do all round exercises. But yeah, for me, I've been working on what I actually want to improve the most. But I've been working on compound exercises, and they always say that's a good thing. So, regardless, the others aren't getting completely neglected. Um, but the funny thing is, I haven't done the most work on my chest as much as I want to work it out to improve it. So,